You can start.
Okay, before we start, because you can't log in, I thought if somebody wants to come and find me, I've got a little riddle for you. It's very basic, but here we go. He comes weekly to fill our homes. Can you find me before I turn to bones? Anybody who finds me will get a little care package.
So I need to translate that in French.
Okay. Do you want me to paste it to you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Donc, avant de commencer le show, si vous avez envie de trouver Nikki et de recevoir un petit cadeau, voici une énigme. Il arrive par semaine, toutes les semaines, il arrive hebdomadairement pour remplir nos maisons. Pouvez-vous me trouver avant que je me transforme en os, en squelette? La traduction est pitoyable, mais vous savez, moi je sais de qui il s'agit. J'ai trouvé. Ok, Nikki. Shall we start the episode?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So, the ESO news. So we're going to start with, the news, because that would make sense. But the first thing that we're going to talk about, which is an event that took place just last week, which is the ESO Plus trial event. So for those of you that aren't familiar with ESO Plus, I'm sure a lot of you are, but just in case, we're just going to remind you briefly of some of the features of ESO Plus. So ESO as a game is buy to play, but players can choose to subscribe. If you do choose to subscribe, you get several benefits. Some of those include access to all DLC. You get 1,500 crowns per month for free. You get the crafting bag, which is one of the biggest advantages of ESO Plus. You get double bank space, double item slot in housing. You get extra XP, gold, crafting inspiration, and trait research. And you get the possibility to dye costumes. It's possible to subscribe in 1 month, 3 months, or 6 month periods.
Bonjour les amis, bienvenue pour ce nouvel épisode de ESO News Live. Et nous allons commencer tout de suite par un événement qui a eu lieu la semaine passée ou ce week-end, qui était un événement dédié à ESO+. Alors, qu'est-ce que ESO+? Donc, c'est la forme d'abonnement que vous pouvez choisir de faire si vous avez envie. Puisque The Elder Scrolls Online n'est plus un jeu avec abonnement obligatoire, et il est devenu un jeu buy to play, donc il suffit de l'acheter. Mais l'abonnement propose différents avantages. Alors premièrement, il y a bien sûr l'accès à tous les DLC au pack de jeux téléchargeables, 1500 couronnes par mois d'abonnement, un sac d'artisanat, très très pratique, il justifie le prix de l'abonnement à lui seul, le double d'espace de banque, le double d'items que vous pouvez placer dans les maisons et plusieurs avantages, 10% de gains en expérience, en or, en inspiration et en recherche pour l'artisanat. Et aussi vous avez la teinture exclusive pour les costumes et personne d'autre ne peut teindre ces costumes. Vous pouvez aussi vous abonner soit par 1 mois, par 3 mois ou par 6 mois.
So from July the 5th to the 10th, which was today, ESO Plus members were given 1 free Dwemer crown crate for every day that you logged in game, up to a maximum of 5 crates. These crates will be rewarded to the players on the 17th. Now, non-subscribed players could also try ESO Plus for free during the same 5 days and enjoy all of the advantages, but those players would not get the free crown crates. To celebrate this event, we organised 3 nights of dungeon delves with viewers. It was actually really successful and a ton of fun. We had a lot of people showing up, actually. And we hope to repeat that in the future.
Voilà, alors l'événement en question était entre le 5 juillet et le 10 juillet, donc ça vient de se terminer. Et les joueurs qui sont déjà abonnés recevront par jour de connexion une caisse à couronne Dwemer. Ces caisses à couronne seront reçues le 17 le 17 juillet, donc pas de stress si vous ne les avez pas reçues, c'est tout à fait normal. Ceux qui ne sont pas abonnés avaient l'occasion d'essayer l'abonnement pendant ces 5 jours et de voir si ça leur plaisait ou pas. Évidemment, ces joueurs ne seront pas récompensés par des caisses à couronne. Alors, nous avons organisé, Niki et moi-même, un petit événement pour fêter cela. Et, nous avons rassemblé les joueurs qui suivent le stream pendant 3 soirées. Et nous avons fait des donjons ensemble, des donjons publics principalement, des boss du monde, etc. Et c'était très chouette. Et ce genre d'événements, nous allons encore les organiser sur ce stream quand il y aura une occasion qui se présentera, comme par exemple des événements saisonniers.
So we actually reached out to a lot of the communities via different methods to see how they felt and how they reacted to the event that took place. For the most part, everybody agreed that free stuff is always a good thing. Most people don't want to turn down free stuff, and subscribers were really happy to get the free crown crates. Though some suggested that a notification warning that the event was working or how many crates they'd collected would have been nice, because you just have to hope that ZeniMax, counts these logins correctly. Non-subscribers did, in general, really enjoy to try ESO Plus. The crafting bag and the bank space was a real incentive for players to get the subscription. And going back to normal after having tested this new inventory management is obviously going to be difficult. Others did take a chance to discover some of the DLC or collect, the skill shards that were now available to them in these previously locked zones. But players were very conscious of the fact that this whole event was mostly done to promote ESO Plus to non-subscribers, and some of them unfortunately just can't afford or justify the monthly sub.
Sorry, made a mistake. Donc, voilà, nous avons rassemblé les réactions de la communauté par rapport à cet événement. Alors, évidemment, les gens, en général, sont contents. Des choses gratuites, ça fait toujours plaisir. Beaucoup de personnes ont fait le commentaire, par contre, qu'il aurait été bien d'avoir une petite notification en jeu pour simplement notifier le fait que vous receviez bien vos caisses à couronne, que ça se passait, quel était le nombre de caisses à couronne que vous aviez déjà collectées, etc. Ou simplement de recevoir les caisses à couronne tout de suite. Les personnes qui n'avaient pas encore testé l'abonnement sont très satisfaits de l'abonnement en règle générale. Évidemment, le sac d'artisanat et le double espace de banque est très tentant. Ces joueurs-là ont bien remarqué que ce serait difficile de revenir à la normale une fois qu'ils avaient touché à cet espace d'inventaire infini. Par contre, certains joueurs ne peuvent simplement pas s'offrir et se permettre d'avoir cet abonnement, malheureusement. Alors, pour tous les joueurs ont bien conscience, bien sûr, que c'est une promotion de la part de ZeniMax pour inciter les joueurs à être un abonné.
Okay, so another topic that we want to discuss, some of you may have seen this on Reddit. There was an AMA with the audio team, and it was actually very interesting, and a lot of information came out of that. The whole conversation was transcribed by Paulington. There were 6 developers present, and you can find the transcript on the Elder Scrolls official forums. But we wanted to highlight a few of the things that we thought were particularly interesting. So, if a mount, pet, or anything else that that carries out a sound that you find is unpleasant or too loud, please report it so the sound designer can adapt it or lower the volume. This will be the case with the mind-shriven horses, which will have this sound turned down in an upcoming patch. There will be sliders to change the sound level of pets or mounts, or the music involved, and also the UI team, which is the UI team is looking to add sliders to change the sound levels of pets or mount or music, but they are obviously very busy on other things right now. And another interesting topic, which is something we've discussed in the past, combat music. The audio team is seriously discussing about whether to add an on-off button for this, or whether they might just enable it during more substantial fights so that the music doesn't change while you're killing a couple of trash mobs. And they're also working to add some music into Homestead, but we're not sure exactly what that's going to be. Lastly, they also want to add a system where players could play musical instruments together, kind of like the system that's in place in Lord of the Rings Online. It's not on the table right now because they have other things to work on, but Brad Derrick has assured us that they will look at it when they can.
Alors, un autre topic dont on avait envie de parler, c'était la Ask Me Anything on Reddit. Il y a 6 développeurs de l'équipe audio qui ont répondu aux questions des joueurs sur Reddit. Cette discussion a été retranscrite sur les forums officiels par Pollington, c'est en anglais bien entendu. Je vous conseille de la voir si ça vous intéresse. Mais ici, voici quelques points qu'on a trouvés plus particulièrement intéressants. Alors premièrement, si vous avez des montures ou des familiers que vous trouvez qui font un bruit bizarre ou qui sont trop bruyants, vous pouvez toujours le signaler. L'équipe audio diminue le son manuellement, c'est leur meilleure façon de faire en attendant qu'il y ait une autre solution. Parce qu'en effet, il pourrait y avoir des sliders. Mais les sliders, le problème c'est qu'il ne s'agit pas seulement de l'équipe audio, mais aussi de l'équipe de l'interface qui a beaucoup de choses à faire en ce moment et ils ont 2 projets beaucoup plus importants que cela. Ensuite, vous en avez marre de la musique des combats quand elle joue tout le temps. C'est quelque chose que l'équipe audio considère sérieusement. Alors il y a plusieurs solutions qu'ils envisagent. Soit c'est d'avoir un bouton off-on pour simplement désactiver la musique de combat complètement ou pas, ou bien simplement d'activer la musique de combat automatiquement, mais seulement lors des combats intéressants et intensifs, et pas tous ces petits combats de petits monstres, etc., pour ne pas casser la musique d'ambiance constante. Alors, ils travaillent aussi sur un projet pour intégrer de la musique dans Homestead. Ils n'ont pas dit de quoi il s'agirait exactement, mais ça a l'air assez excitant. On ne sait pas non plus quand cela se passera, il n'y a aucune information à ce sujet-là. Brad Derrick a aussi très envie d'intégrer un système de musique dans The Elder Scrolls Online pour permettre aux joueurs de jouer plusieurs instruments de musique et les accorder, un petit peu comme cela se passe dans le jeu Lord of the Rings Online. Malheureusement, ils ne peuvent pas y travailler pour le moment, mais Brad Derrick a assuré que lorsqu'il mettrait ce système en place dans The Elder Scrolls Online, ce sera le meilleur système de tous les jeux en ce moment. Et voilà.
Okay, guys, so on to the official news. The first thing that we're going to talk about really is we're going to give you a brief preview of the Crown Store items since our last news article. We do want to mention, however, that there are several limited time offers available on the Crown Store. Some of them have already expired. They expired today or yesterday, but we're going to give you a brief description of them anyway. So firstly, there was Naryu's Morag Tong costume. That unfortunately did expire early this morning or late last night. It was 2,000 crowns. There was also the Nightfall Saber Cat mount, again expired yesterday for the price of 2,500 crowns. The Adorable Assassin hairstyle, also available until yesterday for 400 crowns. And lastly, the Brassy Assassin personality, which expired yesterday for 1,200 crowns. So those 4 have unfortunately already expired. If you missed your chance to get those, you may or may not see them again in the future. We can't say at this point. However, there are a few more items which will be available later this month. There's a new pet Vardvark, which will be available from the 13th of July. There's also the Ragadar style motive, which is a limited offer from the 20th to the 24th of July. There's Mid-Year Mayhem crowns. This is a three pack of costume crowns available from the 27th to the 31st of July. And lastly, Warrior Poet tattoos. This is a body markings bundle, 3 tattoos, again available from the 27th to the 31st of July. We don't have prices on these obviously because they're not yet released, but we will have those in the future.
Voilà, alors tout d'abord un bref aperçu de la boutique à couronne. Premièrement, il y a 4 items, 4 objets qui étaient en vente ce week-end en édition limitée et ils sont malheureusement plus en vente aujourd'hui. Ça s'est terminé ce matin. Donc il s'agit du déguisement de Moracton de Nariu, du Smilodon Nocturne, c'est une monture qui ressemble à un tigre des neiges noir. L'adorable assassin, c'est une nouvelle coiffure qui est très jolie. Et la personnalité assassin effronté, qui est la personnalité qu'utilise Nariu et qui a beaucoup de succès en ce moment. Donc ces 4 objets malheureusement sont partis définitivement. Vous les retrouverez très certainement dans des caisses à couronne. Alors, Le 13 juillet, vous aurez l'occasion d'acheter un petit pet qui s'appelle un petit familier, le Wartwark. Du 20 au 24 juillet, en édition limitée, vous pourrez acheter le motif Ragada. Du 27 au 31 juillet, vous aurez la possibilité d'acheter les couronnes du carnage de Milan. Il s'agit d'un set de 3 couronnes. Alors cela signifie probablement que l'événement le carnage de Milan aura lieu à la fin juillet. Et le tatouage du guerrier poète, donc le même tatouage que Vivek, du 27 au 31 juillet.
Okay, on to campaign adjustments. There have been some minor tweaks today as of the small incremental patch that we received to Battlegrounds. There will now be a level 10 to 49 grab bag queue, and you will also earn more experience. That's a new addition as of today's patch. Update 15, which is also hitting the PTS today or later today, will also include some changes within the PvP scene. The Almalexia 7-day non-CP campaign will be closing, or has closed actually. However, in its place, a new campaign called Shore, which is also 7-day, but this time includes the use of CP, will open. And this is for all platforms. However, I think the Xbox update will be later in this month. If Almalexia is your home campaign, you will be given a free home reassignment and also any leaderboard rewards that you may have been entitled to. The reasons given for this change is mainly due to population management and, more importantly, the feedback from the forum users requesting such a change.
Quelques changements au niveau du joueur contre joueur. Alors tout d'abord, maintenant, pour les champs de bataille, il y a enfin des queues pour les joueurs de 10 à 49. Avant, c'était tout le monde pareil, tout le monde ensemble. Maintenant, vous avez une différence entre les joueurs de level maximum, et les joueurs de 10-49. Ensuite, à partir d'aujourd'hui, la campagne Almalexia est fermée. C'était la campagne 7 jours sans points de champion. Mais à la place, une nouvelle campagne a été ouverte. Elle s'appelle Shore et c'est 7 jours avec points de champion. Alors bien entendu, si vous étiez annexé à Almalexia, vous recevez la possibilité de changer de campagne gratuitement, ainsi que vous recevrez toutes les récompenses en relation au classement. Alors il s'agit d'un changement qui a été fait aujourd'hui. En ce qui concerne les consoles PlayStation 4 et Xbox One, ce changement sera fait plus tard. Les raisons pour ce changement, c'était simplement la population. Les populations n'étaient pas satisfaisantes dans cette campagne et le retour des joueurs.
Okay, now on to the big thing, Update 15 preview. So with Morrowind released and already being enjoyed by lots of players, it's time to shift our focus onto the next content release for ESO. This is occurring as we speak on the PTS. The patch is being rolled out if it's not already finished. We already know that this will be Horns of the Reach, which is a Nord-themed dungeon pack. It will include 2 new dungeons, Bloodroot Forge and Falkreath Hold. We know very little about Bloodroot Forge at this moment, but we expect to see it in the next episode of the ESO live show, and we will keep you posted regarding that. What we do know, though, it explains that Bloodroot Forge is a recently rediscovered forge that is rumoured to have been created by Hircine himself, and within its depths lie the possibility to create weapons of unimaginable power.
Alors, il est temps de parler de la nouvelle... des nouvelles choses qui viennent, après Morrowind. Concentrons-nous sur le nouveau DLC ou le nouveau pack de jeux téléchargeables qui arrivera à la fin du mois. Il sera bientôt disponible sur le serveur test. Il s'agit de Horn of the Reach. C'est un DLC qui concerne 2 nouveaux donjons et d'autres changements. Alors, les 2 nouveaux donjons, il s'agit de la Forge de Sans Racines et la Forteresse d'Épervine. Alors, on ne sait pas grand-chose pour l'instant sur la Forge de Sans Racines, mais elle sera expliquée dans un prochain ESO Live. Tout ce qu'on sait, c'est qu'il s'agit d'un donjon, une forteresse qui est teintée, corrompue avec le sang de Nirn. C'est aussi une forge qui aurait été créée par Hircine lui-même, et au tréfonds de cette forge, il serait possible de créer des armes formidables. Alors les 2 donjons sont situés dans Craglorn, à la frontière de Skyrim, mais dans le territoire de Craglorn.
So the second dungeon, Falkreath Hold, however, has us revisit a town that may be familiar to Skyrim fans. The adventuring party will be responsible for breaking the siege on this once peaceful town, whilst fighting their way to the monstrous Jarl's Hall in order to defeat him. Falkreath Hold also features a large new manor home. The size at this point is a new large all manor home. The size is unconfirmed at this point, that overlooks the dungeon itself. It will be purchasable with gold once you have finished the dungeon on normal, or as always, you can bypass achievement restrictions by purchasing it with crowns. The price is currently unknown. Both dungeons will feature new enemies such as reachmen, minotaurs, and nirn-blooded abominations. Normal and veteran versions for both will exist, and they will both have new sets as well as monster sets and achievements. In addition to this, each dungeon will give you a unique collectible, a skin, and a mask that can be worn separately or together to demonstrate that you've completed the new dungeons. Both dungeons are also located in Cragorn.
Alors, il s'agit maintenant de parler de la forteresse d'Éperville, qui est un donjon qui a été présenté lors du dernier ESO Live par Mike Finnegan. La forteresse d'Éperville se situe dans la zone bien connue de Skyrim, de Bord de Ciel, que vous avez sûrement visité. Donc pour les fans, c'est quelque chose d'assez émouvant. La personne qui s'occupait de la création de la carte, c'est vraiment repérer fidèlement la carte de Skyrim, du jeu Skyrim, pour pouvoir recréer ce donjon et le rendre le plus fidèlement possible. Alors, dans ce donjon, vous aurez la ville d'Éperville qui sera assiégée. Il s'agira pour vous de vous frayer un chemin pour vaincre le Jarl qui est maléfique, méchant, un sale type. Voilà. Alors, bien entendu, vous aurez un mode normal et un mode vétéran, chacun avec leur récompense. Il y aura de nouveaux sets d'armure, des masques de monstres et bien sûr la possibilité de gagner aussi un objet particulier qui est soit une skin, donc qui change votre peau, soit un masque pour l'autre donjon. Vous pourrez porter ces deux collectibles ensemble ou séparément, de façon à pouvoir montrer que vous avez vaincu le mode hardcore de ces donjons. Si vous avez réussi le mode normal de la forteresse d'Éperville, vous aurez l'occasion d'acheter pour de l'or ou avec des couronnes. Là, vous n'aurez pas besoin de l'achievement en fait, mais vous pourrez acheter une maison. Une maison qui se situe sur la montagne et qui donc est en porte-à-faux de la ville d'Éperville. Cette maison est de taille large ou de taille manoir. On ne sait pas encore la taille exacte, on ne connaît pas le prix non plus. On a eu une simple petite aperçu durant le ESO Live. Voilà.
So, in addition to these new dungeons, Update 15 also adds a new battleground map and game mode. The new map, titled Arcane University. This map is set in Imperial City and includes heavy close combat fighting, teleporters, and long drops, which means you need to watch your step. Although it's in Imperial City, it does not require the Imperial City DLC. The new game mode, Chaos Ball, requires you to capture and retain a ball for as long as you are able, whilst your teammates defend you and the enemies try to kill you. As you are holding the ball, your team will earn points. However, players that hold the ball also get a healing and armor debuff that deals damage over time to your whole team. This is to ensure fast-paced gameplay. You will need the Morrowind chapter to enjoy this new map and game mode.
Avec le nouveau DLC, il y aura aussi une mise à jour gratuite, disponible pour tout le monde, et notamment une nouvelle map et un nouveau mode de jeu pour les champs de bataille. Alors pour pouvoir jouer aux champs de bataille, vous êtes obligé d'avoir le chapitre Morrowind, sinon vous n'y avez pas accès. La nouvelle map se passe dans la cité impériale, mais vous ne devez pas posséder le DLC cité impériale pour pouvoir jouer dans cette map. Donc c'est deux choses bien séparées, mais le décor est la cité impériale. Cette map s'appelle l'université arcanique. Il y aura des téléporteurs, des petits couloirs étroits et d'autres choses encore, des pièges de longue chute, donc vous devez faire attention pour pouvoir assurer un combat assez intense. Le nouveau mode de jeu s'appelle Chaos Ball. Une personne va prendre une balle et devra la garder le plus longtemps possible. Plus cette personne conservera la balle entre ses mains, plus il fera gagner des points à son équipe, mais en même temps accumulera un debuff qui entamera sa vie, ou sa régénération de vie et d'autres choses. Les dégâts, enfin bref. Voilà, c'est tout.
With Update 15, you can also expect some base game updates to improve or fix many other issues. Some of the improvements listed include the ability to cancel research midway, guild invite history, and you'll also, from this update, be able to deposit alliance points and rich vouchers directly into your bank. Another really important update is the ability to customize combat cues. Now, this will be very significant for any colorblind blind players, as well as offering everyone else just more freedom in general. The usual balancing and bug fixes will also take place, as well as new furnishings. Update 15 has hit the PTS today, and there is a full 35-page patch note document available for those wanting more information.
And you will have to follow the stream because we will do some show regarding this. Voilà. Alors, en plus des champs de bataille et des deux donjons, il y aura un grand nombre d'améliorations qui seront apportées au jeu, qui sont bien sûr accessibles à tout le monde. Alors, premièrement, vous aurez la possibilité d'interrompre les recherches qui sont en cours, donc pour l'artisanat, ce qui peut être très intéressant. Vous aurez aussi un historique d'invitation de guildes. Vous pourrez aussi stocker vos points d'alliance et vos contrats dans votre banque. Et bien sûr, le plus grand changement, le plus important, c'est sans doute le fait de pouvoir personnaliser vos indices visuels, ce qui sera très important pour les daltoniens. Et voilà, la mise à jour 15 est maintenant disponible sur le serveur test. Donc suivez ce stream parce que nous allons certainement faire des shows vous montrant les nouveaux donjons.
Okay, on to the community news. Now, this is just a small section where we like to highlight 2 community videos that we found informative or interesting or fun, just for you guys to check them out. So the first one that we'd like to draw your attention to is a video created by Glycina. Now, some of you may remember her from a Decorating Tamriel video that we did a few months ago. But this is a video of her and her guild of werewolves completing Aetherian Archive with no revivals mid-combat, and all as werewolves without losing their werewolf form at all. I've just posted the link in the chat. It's a really interesting video. It's quite a long dungeon. It's not a quick process, but it's an accomplishment nonetheless.
Alors, voici des nouvelles de la communauté. La première vidéo dont nous avons envie de parler, c'est une vidéo qui peut se voir par les francophones, même si elle n'est pas en français. Elle a été créée par Glycina. Si vous avez suivi notre série Decorating Tamriel, nous avons présenté la maison de Glycina. Et si vous ne l'avez pas regardée, je vous conseille vraiment parce que sa maison est de toute beauté. Alors, il s'agit d'une vidéo, comme vous pouvez le constater, où sa guilde de loups-garous a nettoyer entièrement les archives. Ils n'ont pas triché du tout, donc ils sont restés entièrement dans leur forme de loup-garou et ils n'ont pas eu de résurrection en milieu de combat, ils n'ont pas perdu leur forme, etc. Comme vous pouvez le voir, c'est assez intéressant et c'est un haut fait, on peut le dire que c'est un bon défi. Voilà.
Okay. Secondly, the second video we want to point you towards is a video by Wilfred the Duke. Now, it's a rather surreal kind of 80s music video based in Morrowind, but we thought it was pretty fun and a pretty creative way to spend your time, so we want you to check that out as well.
La deuxième vidéo, excusez-moi, j'ai pas changé le titre. La deuxième vidéo est faite par Wilfred the Duke, qui est un joueur francophone. Cette vidéo n'est absolument pas francophone ou anglophone, donc tout le monde peut la voir. Il s'agit d'un vidéoclip style années 80, une histoire d'amour qui se passe dans Morrowind. On trouvait que ça changeait un petit peu de ce qui se fait habituellement, que c'était bien fait, que c'était rigolo, donc s'il vous plaît, regardez cette vidéo, ça vaut la peine. Alors voilà, here we are.
That leads us on to the questions and answers. Before we carry on, though, I would like to say the PTS is obviously updated now. This live show does not feature any of that information that's been made available today because, quite simply, we didn't have it. The patch notes came out about half an hour ago, but that will probably be heavily featured in our next ESO News Live.
Yes, indeed. And yeah. Donc, ce que Nikki a dit, en fait, j'ai été distraite, je suis désolée. Ce que Nikki a dit simplement, c'est que donc, le serveur test est mis à jour juste maintenant, ou il y a quelques heures. Donc, on n'a pas eu l'occasion de vous parler des informations qui concernent les notes de version, etc. Parce que nous avons préparé cette vidéo hier et aujourd'hui et on n'a pas eu le temps d'ajouter ces informations. Mais on en parlera bien entendu plus tard. Et comme je l'avais dit un petit peu plus tôt aussi, on fera des streams où on montrera les nouveaux donjons, etc. Moi, j'ai juste habituellement, lorsqu'on fait des streams, ils sont en anglais, bien entendu, principalement, mais vous pouvez toujours poser des questions en français, il n'y a aucun problème. Je vous y répondrai avec plaisir. Maintenant, il est temps de passer aux questions et réponses, mais d'abord, on va faire le giveaway. So, Nikki, we start to do the giveaway. We start to launch it before the Q&A, and when the Q&A is ended, we finish it. Donc, on va lancer le giveaway maintenant, et quand les Q&A, la question-réponse seront finies, eh bien, voilà, le giveaway sera donné.
So, we're going to be giving away one upgrade key for Morrowind. So, if you have the base game and it's not the Steam version, please feel free to enter. Subscribers will get a slightly elevated chance. So, yes.
Nikki, stop. I don't know. I tried to diminish the sound. I could not hear you, and I have no idea if anyone did hear you.
Okay.
And what I was doing, it's need to be. Oh yeah, I know why. I know why. It's because I need to do this. Yes. Sorry, guys. Moment of panic. Désolé pour ce petit moment. Est-ce que quelqu'un a entendu Nikki? Is someone has heard Nikki, or no one could hear you?
I don't care if you see two Elloas, they're both mine.
No, but seriously, are you hearing Nikki over the music, or the music is too loud? Music is loud, yeah. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Désolé, est-ce que ça va maintenant? Is it okay?
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me okay and stuff. Maybe I should sing.
Yeah, maybe you should sing.
No. Okay, well, I can say it again, that's no problem. So we are going to be starting a giveaway now, which will run for the duration of our question and answer section. We're going to be giving away a Morrowind upgrade for one lucky individual. You cannot use this key on the Steam edition. So yeah, good luck everybody that enters.
Donc nous allons faire un cadeau, qu'il s'agit d'une mise à jour de Morrowind, donc une upgrade de Morrowind. Vous devez déjà avoir le jeu Elder Scrolls Online pour pouvoir l'utiliser. Voilà, oui, vous ne pouvez pas l'utiliser sur Steam. Alors, je vais entrer le mot de passe. I will put the keywords. What shall we do? Oh, I know! Easy one. Casing doesn't matter. On va prendre un mot facile, même pour les Français. I choose cake. I think it was,
Cake?
And subscribers still have 3 chances. Donc les abonnés à la chaîne ont 3 chances supplémentaires, enfin ont le triple des chances. Et le mot est cake, puisque c'est pour ça que je suis arrivée en retard aujourd'hui.
You can, of course, enter for a friend. We don't have a problem with that. But make sure you get them to come and follow.
Malheureusement, non, ça ne marche pas sur console. This is not working on console. It's only for PC and Mac. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
This time, maybe next time we'll have something else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, who knows what we might have next time.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go on the Q&A maybe?
Yeah, sure. So anybody, if you have any questions for us, we will try our best to answer them. We don't know everything, surprisingly, but you know, we'll do our best. It could be questions about us, if not about the game too.
Voilà.
Preferably the game.
So, donc, les amis, si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas à poser vos questions. Nous allons faire un effort pour y répondre le plus correctement possible. Et voilà, plutôt au sujet du jeu. Mais si vous avez envie de poser des questions au sujet des gâteaux que j'ai mangés aujourd'hui, il n'y a pas de problème. Vous pouvez aussi les poser.
Okay. There's a question from Rapilli. This ESO Plus trial thing was the first of its kind. Do you think they'll do such trials in the future? Personally, yes. I think it's good marketing and good business because once people try the amazing awesomeness that is the crafting bag and the extra bank space, you know, it doesn't matter if they don't like the DLC, it doesn't matter if they care about the extra XP. That crafting bag is so seductive, and it just makes good business sense. I think they'll probably get, even if they don't last forever, I think they'll probably get a good number of subs from it. Are they saying I need to be turned up a little?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what has been, because, yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. I have done a mishaps here with the music, but yeah. So, does Nikki need to repeat the answer to this question?
That's good now. I can repeat it, although never as elegantly again, obviously. But yes, ultimately, I think it's good business sense. They'll get a lot of subscribers on the back of it simply because the crafting bag is amazing. You know, even if players don't really care about the Thieves Guild, the Dark Brotherhood, or whatever, just the crafting bag alone makes your life so much more pleasant when it comes to inventory management. It is a good business idea, and I expect to see more in the future.
Donc, je vais traduire cette question en français. La question, c'était, est-ce que vous pensez que l'événement ESO Plus était un bon événement, puisque c'est le premier événement de ce genre que Cinemax fait? Et la réponse de Nikki, c'est oui, je pense que c'est bien, parce que l'espace de banque et le sac d'artisanat est tellement bien que ça va inciter un grand nombre de non-abonnés à s'abonner à The Elder Scrolls Online.
Mm-hmm.
So, next question.
Okay, the next one can be for you to do first then. What is your favorite and least favorite house in the game?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
So, my favorite home in the game, I think, is the Veloty Harbor one in Morrowind.
Mm-hmm.
I also... Yeah, I think that's the house that I prefer. And the least favorite one is the Telgallant. It is the Mushroom Tower.
The cancerous tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, least favorite for me, if I'm not going to cheese out and say... Oh, do you need to say that in French? Or
I will say it after.
The least favorite for me, if I'm not going to, you know, include the obvious Mara's Kiss, would probably be... I'm not a huge fan of Hammerdeck End, which is the small orc home in Stormhaven, I think it is. Mainly because it's a nice home, and it's got like this awesome deck and patio area, but you can't build on any of it. It's like, feels like a bit of a waste to me. But my favorite, I'd say, I really like the large Imperial home, and I've forgotten what it's called.
Strident Spring Domain.
Yes, Strident Springs Domain. Because I love the waterfall, and there's so few houses with water in them. And that's a good size. It's got a good yard and stuff. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, and if you want to check very good video about spring the street and spring the man, we have two decorator. First Alakina, which has done an awesome version of it, and then Sinistrae, which did very nice too as well. That's on our YouTube. Donc la question en français. Quelles sont nos maisons préférées et les maisons qu'on aime le moins? Alors moi, ma réponse c'était simplement la maison Velotti, donc la maison Redoran dans Morrowind, qui est une petite maison, mais je la trouve très très jolie, très mignonne, elle a un beau petit jardin et j'aime bien cette forme bizarre, et puis l'environnement est tout très sympa. La maison que j'aime le moins est probablement la maison champignon Telvanni, qui a été vendue en édition limitée. Mais c'est une réponse assez rapide. Nikki, la maison qu'il aime le moins est la maison orc, la petite maison orc qui se trouve dans Stormhaven. Je ne sais plus comment ça s'appelle en français, cette zone. Peu importe. Parce que cette maison est bien. Il y a un beau petit jardin tout autour de la maison, mais on ne peut pas construire dessus, donc c'est frustrant. Et la maison que Nikki préfère, c'est la large maison impériale, qui est, je ne connais pas le nom en français par cœur, mais cette maison, vous pouvez la retrouver sur nos vidéos Decorating Tamriel. On a deux versions, une qui a été décorée par Alakina et une qui a été décorée par Sinistra, et elles sont très bien, si vous avez envie de les voir.
I thought Braloff had a question, but now I think he's just talking about cake, because I see the word gâteau.
Yeah. Havre Tempête, merci Braloff, ça doit être ça.
What are the furniture items that you want most to be added to the game? So, we started seeing some of them being introduced already, actually, and that's things like I think they've added like a bath kind of thing recently in a lot of homes. I don't know if it's available as a furniture, but I've seen it added in more pre-built homes within the world now, and I hope those kind of bathroom fixtures make it to ESO so you can actually start making, sensible home layouts. But in addition to that, I'd like to see them add more things where you can make custom builds. Like, I don't believe there's rope available yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's snakes on a rope, which is great, but no like plain rope. What's that about? Get some rope in there, guys. But yeah, more little things that you can combine to make your own constructions would be cool.
What I want to be added to the game is something with water. I would like us to be able to add a pond, a fountain, something. I guess it's difficult and maybe hard to create, but I really want to see that. Mm-hmm. Donc, la question était, quel genre d'objet avez-vous envie de voir ajouté à Homestead? Et Nikki a répondu qu'il aimerait bien revoir ces objets qu'on retrouve dans certaines maisons pour faire des baignoires. On a ça dans Morrowind en fait, mais surtout il aimerait des objets qui permettent de construire sa maison soi-même, comme des blocs ou les pipes Dwemer ou ce genre de choses. Par exemple, on n'a toujours pas de cordes, et ce sont des choses qui paraissent assez essentielles pour permettre aux joueurs de créer vraiment leur propre construction. Et moi j'ai répondu que j'avais envie de pièces d'eau, un petit étang, une fontaine, quelque chose pour pouvoir ajouter de l'eau dans sa maison. Mais je comprenais tout à fait que ce soit difficile à mettre en place, puisque l'eau est mouvante, mais je pense que c'est important d'ajouter ça.
Okay, did Wilfred have a French question?
No, he has a comment in French, but it's not a question.
That's fine. Are you looking forward to the homes in Falkreath? I'll let you answer.
Yeah, I think that could be very nice. I'm looking for it from a homestead point of view, maybe not from a personal point of view, because personally I just think that Nikki and myself have plenty of us to take care of, and if I want one for myself, it will be the Velotti one, because I really like it. But I find Falkreath's house very interesting.
Yeah, it's what we've seen of it looks very nice. Obviously, it was the kind of pre-decorated version because it hadn't been finished yet, which is fine. It looked like a really nice house. I guess we'll have to wait and see how much it's going to cost, in both in gold and in crowns for those. I guess we can roll this into another question which I saw, which is, how do we feel about people using crowns to bypass achievement restrictions for homes?
No, sorry?
How do we feel about people using crowns to bypass achievement restrictions for homes?
Okay. I translate, that's right.
Yeah, sure.
Donc la question était, que pensez-vous de la maison qu'il y aura dans la forteresse d'Éperville? Alors moi j'ai dit, personnellement je trouve que c'est une très très bonne idée, c'est chouette d'avoir un donjon qui domine, d'avoir une maison qui domine un donjon. Personnellement j'ai pas spécialement envie d'avoir cette maison-là parce que Nicky et moi-même avons déjà 2 maisons à décorer et que si j'en veux une pour moi personnellement, je préférerais la petite maison de Velolti dans Morrowind. Nicky a dit que c'était une maison intéressante, mais qu'il fallait bien entendu voir le prix. Et cela nous mène à la question suivante, dont on va répondre dans un instant, qui est que pensons-nous du fait qu'il est possible de nier les achèvements pour pouvoir acheter une maison quand on l'achète avec des couronnes? So Nicky, you answer that question first?
Yeah, sure. I'll be simple. I don't have a problem with it. Homes at this point in the game, and probably forever will be, purely cosmetic and serve no real purpose, at least for the time being. And whilst they remain that, I have no problem with that. If people are happy to spend the crowns on a property or a house or a garden or whatever, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem either, but it's very clear that ZeniMax is doing that to push players to go for the fast version, which is the crown version, instead of the gold version. Because, like now, if I wanted to have immediately the Veloti house, I could just buy it. I don't need to finish the Morrowind main story. Or I don't need to finish the dungeon to get the Falkert one. So this is really clearly targeting the impatient players. But is it a bad thing? As long as ZeniMax can produce high quality content, I think it's fine. Donc traduction de cette question-là, Nicky a dit qu'il ne voyait pas de problème puisque il s'agit de maisons, de produits cosmétiques, donc ça ne change pas la façon de jouer de qui que ce soit, donc ce n'est pas un problème. Et moi j'ai répondu que j'ai pas vraiment un problème, mais c'est clair que ZeniMax fait ça expressément pour cibler les personnes qui sont impatientes, qui n'ont pas envie de jouer trop longtemps, etc. et qui auront envie de directement acheter ces maisons avec des couronnes plutôt que de les acheter avec de l'or. Donc voilà.
Okay.
Good night, Fu. Hi.
Later, Fu. Did we miss any?
Ramag is asking, do we have a little house in the prairie?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's a reference to you enjoying
Yeah,
the TV show.
probably. I don't know if Ramag know about that. Did I saw that on the stream?
I think I remember you talking about it one stream, so it's possible.
Okay. Weolo is speaking in French to Ramag. Nous allons vous mettre dans une petite prison sur une île. Well said, Wolo. This is well said. I can understand you. That's nice. Avons-nous d'autres questions?
If there are no more questions, guys, don't forget we are running a giveaway in the background. If you want a chance to win a Morrowind upgrade, just type the word cake in the chat. This will only work for non-Steam versions.
Yep. Tam Creuse. Yeah, I enjoyed Little House in the Prairie. I read all the book. Pour les francophones dans le chat, si vous n'avez pas suivi, il s'agit de La petite maison dans la prairie. Je regardais ça quand j'étais petite et j'étais fan et j'ai lu aussi les livres. Et je voulais ressembler à Laura Ingalls. Je me faisais des tresses comme elle.
Good old Waltons. Yeah, okay. I guess we're done with the Q&A. So I guess if we go back to the giveaway for just like 2 minutes, and then
Yeah.
go another minute or two.
I will kill the music. So guys, be careful, it will be very noisy. Donc les gens, ça va faire du bruit. Je vais juste enlever le truc puisque ça marche pas comme je voulais. Donc voilà, va falloir que je refasse ce truc là. Ok. Okay, here we go. It's without music, but I can dance instead.
So guys, this will be your last chance if you want to get a Morrowind upgrade code for non-Steam versions. Type the word cake in chat. You have about 2 minutes.
Donc les gens, si vous avez envie de gagner une copie de Morrowind, l'upgrade pour PC et Mac et pas par Steam, faites-le maintenant. Si vous avez envie de le donner à un ami, vous pouvez le donner à un ami, il n'y a pas de problème. On ne vous impose pas de l'utiliser pour vous. Donc vous avez 2 minutes pour le faire.
Also worth mentioning, you need to be following us if you're not already.
Yeah.
Croissant. Ramag forever the troll.
Bralov is saying, put the music of your intro with the dancing Khajiit, which was my old intro. It was my very old intro. C'était ma très très vieille intro. Elle était trop longue. Beaucoup de gens m'ont fait dire, elle est trop longue ton intro. Et c'était vrai, elle était longue. Okay, shall I do, Nikki? Or it's not 2 minutes yet?
Not quite yet. Let's just give him a few more minutes. Maybe, no, you said it in French already. We're all good. Yeah, just give him another 60 seconds. Guys, type in cake if you want to win this.
Oh, so people, your old intro was so iconic. Thank you, guys. But it's the old one. Now time change. Now I have a Zen intro with Nikki. Une musique épique pour le suspense. I can try to find something. Je vais essayer de trouver quelque chose, mais directement sur YouTube alors.
We just had a few more people join, so guys, if you want to get a Morrowind upgrade code for free, type in cake.
And be sure to follow us.
Yes, and you need to follow because we're going to do it very, very soon. Like within the next 20 seconds, probably.
Okay, I'm putting music, but I have no idea if, how it will be. It's not really epic, but it's nice.
Now, we have been working on getting some more giveaways for you guys, and we've been successful. Let's just say that, but we'll announce that as and when the time comes.
Yes. So continue to follow the channel. Donc on a une bonne nouvelle, c'est qu'on aura plein de cadeaux à vous faire dans les temps qui viennent. Ce sera vraiment cool. Suivez-nous donc régulièrement. Comme je vous ai dit, on va faire les nouveaux donjons, etc. Donc voilà. So now I'm doing the roll.
Yes, do it. Let's do it.
That's it. Guys, good luck. Bonne chance à tous. Wow! Tam Krut! This is amazing! This is great! Yes! I'm really glad for you. The last time you lose the giveaway.
Nice.
Bravo,
Okay,
Tam Krut.
Tam Krut, I will message you your code. I'm guessing it's for a friend, which is fine. Make sure they follow us though, Tam. But yeah, nice.
Okay.
So now I guess we can move on to the last topic, which is going to be a discussion, which is all in English. It's just a brief discussion about our thoughts on Update 15.
Donc, les amis, la partie purement francophone s'arrête ici. Si vous n'avez pas envie de suivre la suite du show, qui est une discussion entre Nikki et moi et les viewers, bien entendu, parce qu'elle sera qu'en anglais, évidemment, pour question de praticité. Je vous remercie vraiment d'être venu. Je vous remercie d'avoir regardé cette vidéo et j'espère que ça vous plaît. N'hésitez pas à laisser vos commentaires, votre retour, à la partager avec tous vos amis et à revenir les prochains épisodes, les prochains lives ou de regarder simplement cette vidéo sur YouTube si vous n'avez pas l'occasion de nous joindre le lundi. Donc les épisodes de ESO Live, c'est tous les lundis sur 2 à 21h, sauf quand je mange du gâteau avec ma famille. Voilà, prenez soin de vous les gars, à bientôt. Bye.
Goodbye, French-speaking people. Or not, maybe.
Okay. I'm doing this.
Okay, Tam, I've sent you that code with instructions.
I will not attempt to go on ESO. Usually we try to play in the same times, or that was the goal at least, so you have, something to watch while we are discussing. But here it's not possible for technical reason. I apologize for that.
Good evening, Super. Just to remind you, Elloa has sent you a little care package.
Wow! Thank you, Rupelis. Thank you so much. That's so nice. Wow. Super cheers. Yay! Wow!
How many more till you get your next badge?
Oh my god. Crazy. Hello, Super. Okay, so the discussion. Oh my god, I forgot. I had prepared all of this little thing and I forgot to use them. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, the screenshots and stuff?
Yes, I forgot to use them. But, well, whatever. Now it's time for discussion. I hope I will not have a copyright problem with this video. I have no idea. I've just popped up a music like this, and that's the danger, to have copyright issue.
Good night, Nightwitch. And good evening, Corleon.
Good night, Nightwish. Hi, Corleon. So we want to speak about the update 15.
Yes.
So, Nikki, what do you think about update 15? Are you excited for the dungeon?
Okay, honestly, no. If I'm being completely honest here. I'm not. Okay, let me start again. So it's arrived today, obviously, and we will be playing it, and I'm looking forward to playing it, but I'm not exactly excited about it either, I like dungeons, but they're not the be-all and end-all for me in ESO. But I am grateful for more more varied content always. So excitement is probably a bit of an exaggeration, but I'm happy they exist. What about you?
Well, I really like dungeon. This is an activity I love to do, especially as I like to heal, and when you're a healer, the dungeon is the only place where you can really shine as a healer. You cannot really heal outside when you're doing quests and stuff. So I have 2 new dungeons with new bosses, new strategy. I'm pretty happy about it. Now they have said that the difficulty will not be as difficult as the Shadow of the East dungeon, but they will introduce new mechanics that should be very interesting. So I'm very curious to see those new dungeons. I'm very curious to see if it will be new. It's 1 year since the last dungeons I've created, so maybe there is some sort of new technology or new ideas they came up with that will be very interesting. So I want to see how they renew themselves.
One thing, to be fair, that I am looking forward to in the dungeon is they all kind of have their little stories, and they're kind of based in the lore that's the area that the dungeon takes place in, but they're kind of separate in most ways as well. So I do like the little stories that occur in these dungeons, and don't get me wrong, I am grateful for it. I am happy that they're coming out, but I'm not super excited. Like, I'll be far more excited about the Clockwork City upgrade, for example, which is a new zone and everything new, you know?
I think that it's anyway something very important to have for part of the population of the Elder Scrolls Online. The new map for the battlegrounds, while it's nice, it was not really needed to be implemented this DLC. It could have been done later on, as battlegrounds are still something new. I think it was not really something they needed to hurry, but maybe they want to release it now because it's related to the Mayhem event and the anniversary of Imperial City, which will be 2 years of anniversary, so it can make sense, you know.
Yeah, what I mean, there's this. It's not just the 2 new dungeons. I mean, obviously those are the main focus, and you know, the people who like doing Undaunted Pledges and you know, dungeon runs in general are going to appreciate the update, and that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, with an MMO, you've got people who play for different reasons, whether that's role-playing, solo PvE, PvP, or just, you know, dungeon runs and farming and that kind of thing. And you have to cater to all of those people if you want to keep everybody happy. So this pack, I guess, is, you know, aimed at one of those groups of people, but it will serve, you know, a wider audience, in that I'll be happy to do them too. I'm just not super excited about them, you know?
No, I understand. But 2 new dungeon by year, I think it's kind of needed. It's a minimum to have, to renew it, because Banished Cell, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, no, they definitely need to add them, and I wouldn't want them to not add them. But it's just not do you know, for me, I guess the most exciting updates, if we're not talking about chapters now, are the Christmas one, which is, looking at it, likely to be a small new zone in the lines of Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, and also the New Year one, which tends to be, you know, like a base game update, like Homestead this year. I really still have my fingers crossed for like a gardening update next year, but that's just pure guesswork on my part.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 updates that I kind of look forward to, because dungeons for me, yes, they'll be great and I'll be happy to run them a half dozen times, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm kind of done with those now. Whereas something like gardening, for example, you know, I could see myself getting a lot more use out of that.
Yeah, I understand. Corleone, yes, it will be similar to the Shadow of the East DLC, and this is one of the things you will see every year. So, to summarize how a year will function in the Elder Scrolls Online from now, it's first quarter, a new update, a new content DLC, second quarter, a new chapter that need to be paid and purchased separately, like Morrowind, third quarter, a dungeon DLC, so 2 new dungeons, like now and like Shadow of the East, and fourth quarter it will be a content DLC.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty safe to say, with the little bits of information that I've managed to find, that the new chapter next year will probably be Murkmire. And you can, again, expect a kind of zone similar to Orsinium or Morrowind, I would expect.
Look what Ramag is saying.
It's July, Nikki. It would be weird to release Christmas and New Year content now.
Yeah,
I know. I'm not suggesting they do. I'm just saying those are my 2 favorite kind of update periods.
Yeah, but I understand. Everyone enjoy the game for different way, and personally, I enjoy the Elder Scrolls Online in different way, depending of my moods. There's period where I'm absolutely not in the mood of doing quests, and all I want to do is to mess around, not think about anything, chit chat with people while delving in delve and dungeon and world boss and whatever, or crafting. Or sometimes I want to do dungeon, I want to feel like I'm progressing, I'm part of a group, I do a challenge, I want to challenge myself and to be better with my class, and I want to not really do it hardcore, but I want to hardcore-ish myself in a way. And some other moment I want to just enjoy the stories and the content.
Yes. So, I mean, Update 15 obviously is not just 2 dungeons. There's the PvP stuff, which we've talked about as well. I'm still a little bit conflicted about Battlegrounds, and it's mainly because I think it could be a really interesting game mode for non-serious PvPers like us. But the way that the queue system currently works, it makes it very unapproachable for us. You know, when I say us, I'm talking about people who don't gear for PvP, who don't, have very little PvP experience or skill. It makes it very intimidating and also, very unlikely that we're going to be satisfied with any performances we put in.
We have never tried a PvP on Battleground on live.
Not on live, only on PTS, that is true.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you. There was too much problem with the queue system, and to make it really fair, we have discussed about that the last time, I think.
Yeah.
They will need to make a system with a hidden rating, so the newbie players or the unskilled players face players of their level, but it doesn't. This rating is not related to your level, your number of champion points, or the quality of your gear. It's related to the time you lose or to your in-game performance. But that's very complex to put in place, and considering that they are already having trouble to make a simple queue system, to add that in addition to make a good and fair matchmaking, I'm scared of that,
Yeah, that's the big problem here is, as you said, all due respect to ZeniMax, they're having difficulty making a queue system that just literally sticks 4 people together. That's all it does. Asking them to introduce algorithms for past player performance might be a bit of an overreach for them at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Now regarding the quality of life improvements they are adding to the game, well, I have not much to say about it because I'm not colorblind, so I don't really care. But I'm very, very happy for the colorblind people, because I have met several colorblind people that had absolutely no idea of where to stand when there was AOE and stuff. They had to guess it, and in some occasion it was extremely difficult for them to guess it because it's not really visible and such. So that huge problem to play in an efficiency level because of their handicap, and so it's really good that ESO finally put something in place like that for them.
Yeah, and the colorblind aspect aside, which is obviously a very good thing, I personally find AoEs, red in particular, AoEs difficult to see whenever you're in a group of 4 or 12 people in the case of trials, spamming their healing springs and all that kind of stuff. It's difficult to see then. So I'm going to be trying it out just mainly to see if there's a color that kind of jumps out at me a little bit better than the traditional red.
Yeah, you see Colion in the chats said that he is colorblind and that he had a lot of difficulty. We did some dungeon together and it was really, it's okay, Colion, I will protect you, don't worry. So I had extra heal for him in case he was in the red, or you had to say, hey, get out of here, it's not the right place. But yeah. Yeah, and Tom Crude is underlying the fact that it's not fun to be queued in PvP against super hardcore PvPers because you stand no chance.
Yeah, but I wouldn't hold our breath for any kind of quote smart end quote queuing system for a long time yet, given the difficulties they have already. But it would be super, and I'd love to see it. So the other quality of life things then were kind of more convenience things, but worthy additions nonetheless, like being able to cancel research halfway through. I didn't even know this wasn't possible. It kind of seems absurd that it wasn't possible, but there you go, it wasn't, and now it is.
But there's a lot of things that seems obvious from other MMORPG that were not implemented in the Elder Scrolls Online, and that was not related to the style they had chosen. For instance, the permission in the guild bank and stuff like that, it makes no sense that you have so little permission. There's different system, or like the fact that you cannot reply a mail. I mean, why?
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre. I know. Like, you're right. There's a lot of, and I don't understand why they don't fix these things. Like, I would have thought, the ability to reply to an email, more permission control within guilds are relatively easy things for them to implement, I would have thought. So it kind of baffles me when they don't, take one of their developers aside and say, look, this week, can you spend the whole week implementing this, and this, and this, which are, quick features that they could add very quickly and please a lot of players in the process. It's a little bit odd, honestly.
Yeah, I wonder why, because I think that they know that it's in their best interest to do it, so I guess if they don't do it, it's because it's not as easy as it seems to be, but I don't really know why, and that would be interesting to know,
Yeah, if that's the case, if it really is, far more complicated than I or anyone else is making out, I accept that. But then just tell us, just let us know, saying, hey guys, look, we would need to do this, and this, and this before we could allow you to reply to emails. So it's going to be 6 months. All right, that's fine. Thank you for letting us know. But they're not forthcoming with that information often, and I think it would go a long way to helping themselves if they did things like that.
Yeah, and I think that you say to the thing is that the problem in the past is they have been very open, and it has not served them because it has been a backlash. But in the same times, when they communicate, I think that it helps so much players to understand, to be understanding. Okay, that's what it takes to do those changes. Okay, I understand the process. You have to go through all of this. Okay, you have to coordinate that many teams, etc. That will be very interesting for players to, like the AMA they did on Reddit for the Sun team. It was very nice because you really could know when something was easy to fix, like amount is too loud, they just need to decrease the sound, and in the next patch or whatever fix, it will be implemented. So that's easy done. When they want to put a system in place like a slider, which seems like simple, not only they need to put the system in place from the audio team, but they need also to have the interface team that work on it. And to coordinate those two teams for a little project like that, it's sometimes not possible because they have different projects to work on in priority. So those kind of I don't know, MAR or discussion with the developers, I think are very, very helpful to really understand what it takes to create something in the game, and that something that seems extremely easy is actually not.
I just noticing Tam Crude is saying that I'm afraid that's the way of MMOs. 99% of any effort will go into new content that they can make money of. And whilst, in some degree, I understand what you're saying, I think, I don't for a second think ZeniMax are stupid or dumb. They know exactly what they're doing, and any business worth its salt will know that it's far more profitable to keep existing customers happy than it is to have to make new ones. So I don't think there's anything sinister behind these things, like, these little features that we're talking about. I don't think there's a sinister reason why they're not happening. I think maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe just maybe they're just overwhelmed or a little bit misguided about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how complicated the coding is, considering that the whole team that created the game, so the base of the game had been made by one team, and now it's new developers that are taking over, and I think there's something like that. Or maybe their engine is not that responsive. I don't really know exactly.
Well, do you know what I think we should do? Is ask Rich Lambert to come on one of these shows with us, and maybe we can ask him some of these questions.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That will be exciting. Read it.
More money is made from new players than old. Initially, yes, I'd agree with you. You know, the initial purchase of the game, plus the initial excitement, tends to lead people to, buy amount or whatever. But I think long term, they've already spent. I mean, the point I'm making is that when you market a game or any product for that matter, it's very expensive to market that to an audience. And if they market it to somebody and they get them to buy the game and then they dismiss them, that's a lot of money lost. It's kind of like when you employ a new member of staff and you spend hundreds or thousands training them up for the job, and then they leave 4 weeks later. You're down a lot of money. And it's very similar with marketing and games and any product that you want to sell. It's worth retaining that custom simply to recoup the money that you've sent marketing to them. But yeah, I guess we're getting we're not really off topic, but we're speculating at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Subscription and store purchasing gives them a large amount of money. The more bugs there are, the higher the chance of losing those people. Yeah, that's true. It's I think the goal of any kind of developers the thing is that I discussed with Jessica Folsom and Matt Fior when I was at B3, and they seemed genuinely to really, really care about the game. It was not fake or bargaining. I think that I would have recognized that when you're face to face with the person and you can see in his eyes, you can see the emotion that there is behind. And that really teach me that those person care for the game. One of the things that Jessica told me, and I have already said that on stream, so that they did a mistake during the beta of the Elder Scrolls Online by how can I say, inviting too much people when the game was still in beta. So they had a lot of performance issue because it was a stress test. So that was the goal of the number of invitation. And because of it, and because of a lot of bad press, it has spread, and ESO had been tagged as the super buggy game, blah blah blah. Then they had the release, there was still some bug bots, etc. They fixed a lot of that very, very fast, but the damage were done for a great part of the population. Now there's stuff that were not working in the Elder Scrolls Online. I've seen the improvement myself. I've been playing it non-stop since the Alpha 3, I think. So I've really seen the evolution of that game. And it's true, at the beginning there was a lot of things to improve, and now the game is in a very good place in my opinion. But you see, a simple mistake that is something a bit innocent in a way is creating such a bad impact with the press. I think that the community, the press and the players, and I'm not saying the people individually, but the whole gathering of stuff, it's a bit merciless. So you have better to perform right, or there will be no second chance. And so the Elder Scrolls Online had to redeem themselves very hard, and they've spent a lot of time and money to try to say to the people, come back to the game, it's repaired now, it's better now, come, you had a bad first impression, but your second impression will be a lot better. So granted, the game is not for everyone, but I think ESO is a very good game, honestly.
Yeah, I don't doubt for a second, when I watch these ESO live shows, and when I watch, the interactions on the forums or Twitter or whatever, I don't doubt for a second that everybody involved in this game doesn't love what they do. I never have. And I kind of remember when I was playing the beta, 2014, I had a few issues, nothing major, but I had a few issues, as did everybody else. And I remember watching this really bad review of ESO Online on YouTube, and it kind of made me angry because, you know, I loved this game so much, even though I'd only been playing it for a month or two, and I couldn't understand why nobody couldn't see, or why this person in particular couldn't see what I was seeing. But yeah, I think, you know, gamers in general, not mentioning any names, but, you know, have become a lot more entitled, or have a false sense of entitlement than possibly, you know, over the past 5 to 10 years. And I think this has a lot to do with it as well. You know, people expect things done super quickly. They expect everything for free. They expect everything with 0 bugs. And, you know, the reality just doesn't match up with that often.
Yeah, I remember when back in the days when I started playing MMORPG, sometimes the game was shut down for 2 or 3 days for maintenance. That happens all the time, even World of Warcraft. And I remember you had some server that were on maintenance for a long time, and then all the people, the players of those server that were mad, they were coming, manifesting, protesting, naked in the server of the other people, making them lag and stuff like that. But, you know, sometimes things doesn't work. It also has a charm in a way, because it can create things like that, like those silly naked people raids in World of Warcraft.
Colin, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying ESO was perfect or is even perfect now. There's still things that I think, you know, areas where they could improve. But this particular review was kind of scathing, and it just, you know, because I was so in love with this game at that time, I felt it felt personal, you know, which of course it wasn't, but that's kind of how I took it at the time. This is my baby, my new escape, you know, at that time in my life.
Yeah.
And somebody was attacking it. It wasn't cool.
Yeah, I know. I have a bit this tendency to always defend, to the point where I had been accused to be paid by ZeniMax, which is not true. I'm not sponsored by ZeniMax at all. But yeah, I think I like to defend the people that put their heart, their soul into the game. Games really appeal to me. Game development appeal to me for good reasons, and so I know that MMORPG and video game in general is an art, like movies, like theaters, like, you know, and artists are putting their heart and their soul into the game. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of them are just.
I mean, games these days often have, you know, bigger budgets than, you know, A-list movies and stuff now as well. So yeah, but you know, I've been playing ESO now for, well, since beta, like, what was it, like April 2014, something like that. Oh no, when did it come out? I always get these dates confused.
It came out the 4 April 2014, and I started to play on the beta in Juillet 2013. But that was me.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess it was maybe late 2013 that I started playing them, because it was on the beta. And whilst I have had breaks during those 4 years, I always keep coming back, you know, one way or another. And I can't say that for any other game. Long live ESO.
Well, but it's nice that, Colin, you had the occasion to come back to it and to now enjoy it.
Yeah.
So this is nice, and I think that ESO has made a lot of good progress. So even if you had been disappointed by the game, it's good to give him a second chance, because now it has seriously improved.
Actually, Tam Crude makes an excellent point. I think, you know, I've been playing Elder Scrolls since Oblivion, and some of you might have been doing it since, you know, TES 3, Morrowind. Is it 3? I think it's 3.
Hi, Nelson.
Good evening, Mark. So yeah, Skyrim was huge. It was the introduction to the Elder Scrolls universe for many people, especially console players. And many of those people came over expecting Elder Scrolls Online to be Skyrim 2, I think. And whilst in some respects it is, the lore, the characters, the universe itself is the same, it's not the same because it's an MMO. It's not a single-player console game. And so, I think that might have contributed quite heavily to, some of the negative press that it got.
Yeah, there's also something important to know, and I have already discussed about that in a stream or sometimes or in a video, I don't know. The Elder Scrolls Online started its development in 2007. 2007 was the burning crusade for for World of Warcraft. Maybe Warhammer Online had been created in Ages of Conan, but basically you had only that in the MMORPG genre, and then you had the success of Oblivion. And so from the success of Oblivion, they started to create the Elder Scrolls Online with a lot of team members from Dark Age of Camelot. That's how they started their concept for the game. Then in 2011, so you see, there is already 4 years of development. Skyrim is released. Skyrim is a massive success. The MMORPG genre had switched and changed it very differently. I think 2011 was Star Wars: The Old Republic, Guild Wars 2 was coming. The landscape of MMORPG was starting to change and not follow the route that World of Warcraft had imposed all those years. So they had to reconsider completely the game because they needed to fit it for the Elder Scrolls fan, to fit their expectation, to be more modern and everything. So they said, I had this discussion directly with it was in an interview, I think. Matt Fuhr was explaining that. Well, basically it was really a problem for the team because they had to change all the idea that I had put in place and to polish it, but they had already so much made at that point. This was very difficult.
Mm-hmm. And I may be wrong on this, and I certainly don't have any hard facts to back up what I'm about to say. These are more just about feelings, and I feel, or felt at least, that the Elder Scrolls franchise was a more mature audience. And what I don't mean mature as in, that person said something childish. I mean an older audience. And I feel that Skyrim opened up that franchise to a much lower age bracket. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because that's a lot of income for the team. I'm guessing, young kids are getting more and more games and consoles and stuff these days. And I loved Skyrim too. Let's be clear on that. But I felt like Skyrim brought the franchise to a much younger audience, which then transferred over to the Elder Scrolls Online, and had different expectations that ZeniMax had to try and manage.
Oh, but the Elder Scrolls Online has an audience a lot older and mature than a game like World of Warcraft or like Final Fantasy XIV, for example.
Maybe. Like I said, I have no facts on that. This is just what I felt. I always felt that Elder Scrolls, like Oblivion and stuff, were played by 25 plus, for the most part. Not when the game originally came out, but certainly within the last 10-15 years, it felt like the more mature players, that were playing that series were probably 25 plus. And then, bang, Skyrim comes out, and all of a sudden you got 11-year-olds playing it. And then they're like, oh, there's a new Elder Scrolls game out, Elder Scrolls Online, Skyrim 2 or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but maybe just not what was expected. But obviously Elder Scrolls Online, was, trying to focus on the popularity of Skyrim. That's what they were going for.
They were, it's so much a hybrid, because you also have the MMORPG crowd, which is very different from a single player role-playing game. and like the whole Cyrodiil warfare, it's really based on the Dark Age of Camelot system, and so they were targeting a certain type of gamer that were not really satisfied with the game itself, because that kind of gamers just think of PvP equipment being the best, having a good build, whatever, you know, and less about the stories and such. So those kind of players were kind of bored to have to go through all the content to level their character, to just have it in Cyrodiil. You know, all those different sort of audience that were targeted were not really matching, and I think that's probably, it has been my feeling, but I may be wrong too. At the origin, ZeniMax really promoted the Cyrodiil warfare, and the type of gamers that go in Cyrodiil warfare are not the type of gamers that enjoy Elder Scrolls game, and that's why they started to switch, you know, to focus more on adding the Thieves Guild, adding more Elder Scrolly experience, versus really focus on the Cyrodiil warfare, because Elder Scroll Online doesn't really is good for all those PvP centered players that do not care about story. Now you have a lot of players that enjoy both, you know, they like to fight in Cyrodiil, they also enjoy the stories and stuff like that. Some players just enjoy the PvP, but they enjoy the combat style and whatever. But yeah, well.
No, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, given the choice, you know, I would strip the PvP stuff out of Elder Scrolls Online, but obviously I will never have that choice, and that's a good thing, because you know, it does appeal to a lot of players, and there are probably, you know, thousands, hundreds and thousands, whatever, you know, subscribing purely for PvP content, and that's a good thing for PvE players too, because there's that extra income, you know, that they can put into the game. But for me, it doesn't really fit right with the Elder Scrolls, you know, universe and genre for me, I guess. But then maybe that's just because I'm not a PvPer. But I think it's also because in general, people who do enjoy PvP are quite different from us. In the sense of how they play, and that kind of thing. So yeah. Anyway, we've kind of waffled on here for a lot, haven't we?
Yes, it has been a very long show, actually, a lot longer than we expected. I hope you enjoyed that discussion.
Yeah, I did.
Especially as we have no game to show you on the side here, and it's always the same slideshow, and I'm really sorry for that.
That's okay. Pictures are nice too.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we really should try to get one of the developers on a chat with us. I'm sure Richard would say, Richard. So I'm sure Sir Lambert would say okay. Like, I'm sure he'd be okay with that. If we can work around his busy schedule. But yeah, we'll see if we can work something out in the future.
Yes. So, guys, I think we will stop the stream for tonight. We can continue to speak about all of this, you know, during other stream. It doesn't need to always be stuck for this show, but I'm really happy that you have been so present and active. It was really great to see all of you tonight. We will have more giveaway in futures. We will be streaming the PTS probably tomorrow. Not tonight because it's very late. We will have to prepare our character and stuff like this. So yeah, let's give a rendezvous tomorrow for some streaming on the PTS and discovering those new dungeons together.
Okay, Violo said Twitch raid, so who can we raid before we forget? Because we always forget.
Yeah, okay. So let's do that. What do we have on Elder School Online that I know? Oh, well, let's go read Ajax Duo. He's streaming
Okay.
right now.
Now, everybody, I'm going to put the link, so you don't even have to type it in. I'm going to put it in Twitch chat. Can you, or even if it's only for 5 minutes, but you never know, you might enjoy him. Can you go to this link and say hello to Ajax? Hopefully I put the right link in.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody go over and say hello and tell, say that you come from our stream, and we'll see you there.
Yes, and I wish you a very good night. Take care of yourself, and thank you for all the person that watched this video on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed as well. Take care. Bye bye.
Good night, everyone.